Hello, welcome to the daily political tarot readings here on the Black and Orange channel. Thank you so much for being here. I'm here 365 days of the year to take your political questions out of the chat. Just put them in the chat before I come on, and I look forward to reading on your political questions. 10% of my income from everything Black and Orange goes to Feeding America, feedingamerica.org, which supplies food to food banks across the country, and that is an ongoing thing. I only do political questions. I don't do personal readings, I'm afraid. And if you're watching this on replay, hello, you can go down in the description box. The questions are all there, and I timestamp them as I go. So all of the Black and Orange live streams are timestamped. So you can get in and out and pick what you're interested in. Or do stop by, because this very much is it's a hangout. It's a hangout live stream. We have a great community. Thank you for being a great community. All right. I think that's it. Yeah. All right. We're starting a new week, new month. It's Monday, August the 1st. And, oh, hello, Foggy Ozark. It's been a minute. So, Sweet Sugar Jones, I love that name. Make orange gorgeous again. I think real orange is. I think whatever that, I don't know, rotting pumpkin orange color that Trump does, that's a whole different. Anyway, all right, so I'm just going to jump right in. Unfortunately, the hand is still doing the hand thing. Oh, Cindy is saying, thank you for giving me hope every day. Oh, thank you. It's the community here, really. It's you guys are so kind to each other and so supportive, and that is huge. And that's everything. That's everything I had hoped for in a channel. So, all right. Thank you, Foggy. Thank you. That's very sweet. Okay. All right. So I'm still using the app, the tarot exclamation point, like jazz hands, tarot app to pull cards. I know there's some people who are saying they much prefer the physical cards, but I can't shuffle right now. So matter of fact, I thought I was doing well this morning, and then I put a cap on a pen just randomly, and it was like, ow. So yeah, I'm just a little bit of ice here. So Renier, yes, I showed that picture the other day. Saw a pic of Trump sans the orange makeup. He looks like he has one foot in the grave. He looks like he's over 100 years old. He looked really bad. He looked really bad. Without makeup, he looks without makeup outside, he looks like a tomato. Without makeup, in general, his skin's very mottled. Not mottled like a model, but mottled, M-O-T-T-L-E-D. Jess R., what's wrong with your hand? Big old bruise. Big old bruise. So I don't know if anybody wants to see it, but it's still bruised. Although, did I mention? Yes, I did. I mentioned yesterday about how it looks like a happy bruise. Yeah. But anyway, if you guys wouldn't mind, I'm going to jump into the first question. If anybody wouldn't mind letting the newcomers or people who haven't been here in a while let them know what happened with my hand, I would appreciate it. I'm going to jump into the questions. So at just after 4 minutes in, 4:30. Okay, I'm going to take one last look at this, and then I really never want to read on this again. And it's not you guys. I'm grateful for your questions. It's just that the whole topic to me is just icky, because we're dealing with a sad situation and Trump, and you put those things anywhere near each other, and so I've been getting repeated questions on this, so this is it. One last look. The rumors on Twitter surrounding conspiracy theories about Ivana's internment are everywhere. Let's take one final look at whether or not there was anything outside the norm with her burial. Was evidence buried with her? Was there anything untoward at all besides Trump's selfish opportunism? Yeah. Okay. So let me pull this up. There, like that. Okay. And again, on the iPad, this is the Tarot ! App. All right. Hi. Are you having troubles? What you doing? Hang on. He's turning around. Just lie down. I'll cover you. All right. Sorry, Boo Boo's having troubles here. All right. Oh gosh, that's a terrifying thought. Kika just suggested The Landscaping by Melania. Oh. Wow, it's a blood red golf course. Yeah. Oh, is Geek Hillbilly here? Really? Oh, okay. I'm getting distracted because, oh, here we go. Hello, Autumn from soggy, flood-ravaged southeastern Kentucky. We've nearly been knocked back to the Stone Age. Oh, Geek Hillbilly, good luck, good luck. Hope you're okay. So we've got some great OGs in the chat today. All right, let me change this to 7, and we'll have a look at this, hopefully for the last time, because ick. All right. Again, rumors on Twitter surrounding conspiracy theories about Ivana's internment are everywhere. Let's take one final look at whether or not there was anything outside the norm with her burial. Was evidence buried with her, etc., etc. Okay. Bless. Temperance is the card for the reading, as in maybe what the conspiracy theories, we may need to slow our roll, but let's see what the other cards say. Well, guess who that is? We're starting with the Emperor. And his family's upset. I'm not quite sure how upset he is. Yeah. It might be a little bit of a facade going on there. It's really the kids who were upset, and from what I hear, I still haven't had time to go look at hear their eulogies. Oh my gosh, I hear they're really bad. Now, there's heartache there. And this is a tomb. This is the quiet as a tomb card, but it's literally a tomb. That isn't a person there, that's a statue. Or rather, that's marble on top of a sarcophagus. So there are 3 quote unquote people in this picture, but technically there are none. None you can see. And then in the end, confinement. Now there are a lot of swords here. So let's see if there's anything to anything related to like burying evidence or no. This is an honest procession to a burial. It's simply a matter that we understand Trump himself is capable of anything. This kind of extremism, selfishness, communications. And there's a tomb. I don't know that burying evidence would actually help. Chris L saying, is she really buried there, or do they want you to just think she's buried there? I think she's really buried there because it helps Trump's taxes. And there's one thing we can trust. It's that Trump will do anything for money. Excuse me. Trump will do anything for money. Anything for money. Anything. Anything for money. Kika says she was cremated. Yeah. Linda Sue says if she was cremated, her urn may be all that's left of evidence. I'm not. I don't think her passing was a murder or anything like that. I'm not getting that burying anything with her would actually help anything. There are other ways to dispose of stuff. But it's sad, and the family dynamic is bizarre. But Mary Trump can tell you that. So, Electra Storm says, I'm just shocked she didn't have any plans for her own funeral arrangements. With her family, she needed to do that. Well, yeah, I mean, everybody needs to have, I should have. I'm slowly trying to work stuff like that on a personal level, work out stuff like that. And the gentle art of Swedish death cleaning. In Sweden, apparently, as you get the older you get, the more you try to get rid of your belongings. And it's so you do not leave a burden on the people after you. So planning is a part of their culture. Thank you, Roxana. Okay. All right. So that's kind of what we have. It's tasteless, tacky, selfish, opportunistic, awful. Yeah, pretty much Trump, but that's all I'm getting. So I think if there was a way for him to do more than just, he's already saving a fortune on taxes now because of this. But Kelly says, I'm not people avoid their own mortality. Swedish death clean sounds good. There's a book on it, and I've watched videos on it. I haven't bought the book yet, but I probably will. Elizabeth M said, I'm in the midst of doing some of that cleaning. Oh, bless, and that's excellent. It's excellent just to have everything in order in your own life. So it's not a matter of it being sad or anything. It's just, it's less for you to have to deal with. So, all right, let's go on. We're at 13:45. And Joanne had a question about Biden. 13:45. Okay. So what Joanne was asking, during Biden's presidency, what items on his mandate will successfully be implemented in order to move the country forward? All right. So Biden's agenda. Well, he's already passed the largest infrastructure, the largest infrastructure bill. He's cut the unemployment numbers in half. He's got most of the country vaccinated and boosted. The banks are still open. And there was some movement. Forgive me if I can't remember it off the top of my head, but there was some movement toward some form of gun control. Shockwave has a really interesting question in the chat. But for Biden, he's done quite a bit. But let's see if there's anything else that's going to come up for what Biden is going to get done during his time in office. Well, he's working. He's not taking executive time until noon or 1 o'clock. He really isn't. You go try to find out what's going on in the White House during, a random Monday through Friday type thing, and he's in a conference call with leaders of this, that, and the other. Ultimately, I think he will be recognized for a lot of the good that he did. And I'm getting annoyed with the media for being ageist. And I'm getting a little annoyed with late night comedians or other comedians for being ageist. And it's like, really, that's all you have to say about him? Really? Just getting tired of it. He's done a lot for us. Like, I'm not saying it's perfect, but my gosh, this is nirvana compared to where we were. And Kiko, yes, he's a worker. He's not playing golf, right? He fell off of his bicycle. Well, it's because his feet were clipped into the pedals. Guess what? People who don't ride all the time, who ride the kind of bikes where your shoes are clipped into the pedals, you have a high likelihood of falling because you may not be able to get usually you can just twist your heel out to get your foot out of the pedal, but not everybody's used to that. So you have a chance of falling down. Big deal. It's not just a normal, wearing your 1950s tennis shoes. And yes, Tam, at least he can ride a bike. So yeah. Holly in France, considering the obstructionist GQP, he's done amazingly well. Yep. Absolutely. Kelly says low-hanging fruit. He's been doing the job. Honestly, I don't know that infrastructure package is low-hanging fruit. That's my opinion. So, he helped in order to get we were in the middle of a pandemic, and in order to get the world, he was helping the world, not just us, which ultimately helped us too. The economy is improving, at least. And like I said, the employment numbers are so much better than they were. Now, there is inflation, and he's fighting it. And the normal ways of fighting inflation aren't necessarily working because we have a supply chain post-pandemic. We've got post-pandemic inflation going on, which is a different animal. So things are financially topsy-turvy right now. Oh, Linda Sue, low-hanging fruit, acting ageist, not the infrastructure climate. I misunderstood. I apologize. Yes. Right, Holly and France, Biden's quietly doing his job. The other side thrives on chaos and can't comprehend hard work. Thank you. Revolution Ricky said, when was the last time Trump was on any type of bike? He had trouble walking down a ramp. So it's raining. I mean, there are difficulties. We've got flooding. We've got climate problems. There are troubles, but I think he will be remembered for all of the good he did and how much he was able to rebuild. And it's good. It's ultimately going to be good. And the longer he's in, the better our country is going to be. Every day it gets just a little bit more ethical. It becomes a little less stressful. there are a few more opportunities. It's just a steady progress. So, yeah. Yep. So that's what I have to say about that. All right, at 20:30, Maria had a question. 20:30. Is Moscow Mitch going away anytime soon? Well, if he has said, oh please go out and vote, please. If he does not become majority leader in the Senate after the midterms, he's going to retire. Oh please. I look up through the windows actually, and there's these big, beautiful, fluffy clouds in this blue sky, and I feel it's like speaking to God. Please, please let the Republicans not get the majority control of the Senate in the midterms. Thank you, Mitchie. Oh look, corruption. Right in the center. Oh, Democrats have been raining on his parade. Every day he's not in power and Schumer is. Yay. I am just the Schadenfreude here. I feel like I am just like floating in a pool of Schadenfreude when it comes to Mitch McConnell. And because of what the Supreme Court is doing and the messaging around the country and taking women's rights and the burden on the Republicans is just getting worse and worse and worse. This is about the future of the GOP here, because this is, there are some places where the Republican candidate doesn't have to be much of anything. He just, Carmela, what does that mean? What does that mean? I'm afraid which part? Please let me know. This is, some people, they barely have to show up and they'll win their seats, but there is some aggressive law enforcement coming. And the GOP, Schadenfreude. It's a German word, and it's basically the enjoyment of someone else's suffering. And as long as it's not real physical suffering, and we're talking about Mitch McConnell losing power. So when something comes along where he's not in control because people have voted for Democrats. When it comes to Mitch McConnell, I'm just enjoying his unhappiness, failures. Yep. Kelly is saying against the GOP law enforcement, that's what it looks like. I'll ask for some clarification here, but that's what that looks like. Oh boy. Let's ask more about that. Sword of truth is coming at the end, and that's good. What else have we got here? We've got strength in the middle. Strength of women, strength taming the orange monster. Republicans, they've got their plans to retain power, gain more power, some of it straight up, some of it nefarious. This thing's coming to light, but there's also there's a background hint of, unfortunately, has become my card of the supremacist, patriarchal militia, that garbage. Far right are out there fighting, thinking that it's finally their time. But the reality is no. And you can take your brown shirts and you can go home. And I know, I just realized, yes, I'm wearing a brown shirt, but this has nothing to do with the Nazis. It's just a nice color that matched the flower. Democrats have the evidence, votes. Republican disappointed, trying to kick down as much of the Democratic stuff as they can, but there's more. There's more. There's always more. Because the truth is coming out. Yeah, this does not look good, not only for Mitch, it doesn't look good for the Republican Party. So, yeah. Rusty ochre. Thank you, Anne. Elizabeth saying that's rust. Yes, a rusty ochre. That's all that is. Ginger. Oh, I like that, Linda Sue. Ginger colored. I like that. All right, so let's go on to the next question. 26 minutes in. Love Wins had a great question. Love the name. Love the name. 26. So the Manchin and Schumer deal was epic. Will Dems continue to outwit the GOP? Geek Hillbilly says, I'm heavily involved in local and state politics now. Thank you. Thank you for doing that. Thank you. Kathy Delau, rust, not brown. There we go. So Manchin Schumer deal was epic. Will Dems continue to outwit Republicans? Yeah, that's the answer. Weed of crime bearing bitter fruit is right at the center. Governments, they have control of state governments, which is going to mess with things too. But federal governments, I've got some howling at the moon. If we want things to get better, we need to vote, and we need to get everyone we know to vote. Yeah. Hello, Eileen. Geek Hillbilly says, I'm working for Charles Booker to oust Rand Paul. Ooh. Hang on a second. Is that here? Is that... Let me pause this. Where was that? Oh, I'll be asking about Sinema in a minute. Here we go. Copy. So basically what I'm getting here is outwitting the Republicans. Meh. Yes and no. Don't bet on it. But I'll certainly try, because there's a lot of nefarious stuff going on in the background. There just is. Entertainment only. It's what's in the collective energy. So, all right. So the next question is about Sinema, and it's at 28. Let's just say 29. Kelly had a question. 29. Will Krysten Sinema throw a monkey wrench in the new Senate bill? Because she's been awfully quiet. Krysten Sinema. Oh, she feels like it's a full Celtic cross layout. Let's just read on Sinema here. You gonna play nice with the others? Because apparently they voted the CHIPS bill through first, which is kind of helps her in the hope that she's going to vote with Manchin here. Let's see. Celtic cross layout. Krysten Sinema. I'm not going to use a significator. Krysten Sinema. Well, we won't go into. I'm gonna try to tone down my bitterness on here. She pretended to be something different when she was running, and now her being the star has brought a lot of that back to life. There was a lot of hatred coming towards her because she was getting a lot of money from Republican donors, and she was doing things that Republican donors like. There's some kind of moderation, but also there's above and below her, there's this kind of life and death struggle. There's some kind of big epic struggle. Could be it's in her personal life, although it also might be how something she's doing in her work is affecting her personal life. Yeah, I'd have to do a separate reading on that one. Now, what's ahead of her, this looks good. This looks like, what Schumer and Manchin came up with. It looks like us getting that in theory. That's what the card is. It's yay, yay, we did it. Happy families, because that would lower the people. People are complaining so much about the bill, saying absolutely not, don't do it. It helps coal producers or people who you're making traditional fuel, what have you. This bill has good stuff in it, including lowering carbon emissions in the US by 40% by the end of the decade. Look, incremental progress is still progress. And we need that desperately. I don't, if anybody who says, no, kill the whole thing because it's not enough. No, we need this. So home environments, working for the money. Yep. Hopes and fears. Well, it's the messenger. Is she going to be the messenger of the right? Is she going to be? We're waiting to find out what she's thinking. What other people see, she's quite the enigma. Final outcome. This is good. Electrostorm. Progress happens in steps, not instant. Geez, people. I'm with you on that one. Holly and Friends saying a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. Yep. Kelly says we do need this. She worries me. Maybe someone will pay her to do it. Yeah. Well, for what it's worth, this card here, the 10 of Cups there and the 3 of Cups for the final outcome, this looks good for Democrats. So fingers crossed. I don't trust her. I don't trust her as far as I could throw her, and that's not very far. But the cards are good. Anne is saying she has really made a lot of Democrats in Arizona very angry. I understand that. Yeah. All right. Fingers crossed. But that's, I was getting good cards. It's just the energy is most vexing around her, and I don't trust her. But I'm just gonna say, okay, this is what the cards are saying, and it feels like it could actually happen. There's a real possibility here, but it doesn't change how much I trust her at all. Even if she votes for it, it doesn't mean I'm going to trust her. She is most vexing. Okay. Anyway. 3415. Oh, I wanted to look at 3430. By the way, if you hear a little tiny sound in the background, Boo Boo is snoring very, very quietly under his little towel over here. Okay, Geek Hillbilly was saying, I'm working for Charles Booker to oust Rand Paul. Let's have a look at what's in the cards for Charles Booker, possibly ousting Rand Paul. Please, oh please. Ousting Rand Paul. And by ousting, I mean metaphorically only, but metaphorically drop kicking him out of this, out of office. Metaphorically only. Well, a lot of work going on. A lot. Things aren't as good for Rand Paul as you might think. And I've got 6 major arcana in a row here, which feels like he's only one piece of a much bigger thing, a bigger puzzle. In the center, I've got the Hermit. Chariot, Emperor, Wheel of Fortune. Okay, that would be authoritarianism. That would be authoritarianism. So this would be Rand Paul, or just authoritarianism. Things are changing. Chariot is a big, showy election, what have you, and which it's like 80% Rand Paul, but it's like it's almost like he gets in, but then the Wheel of Fortune turns on him, which makes me wonder if this is going to be one of those going to court, because I thought everything in Kentucky was just a given that these far right Republicans would be voted into office, but this feels like things are not as good for them as it used to be, and there's some real fear, especially with the flooding and everything else. Is Rand Paul really helping people, really helping constituents when it comes to all this flooding, or is he just off in a bathtub somewhere with a glass of wine reading Ayn Rand? What this says to me is Rand wins, but so let me see if I can get any more information. All right, Rand Paul. Oh man, this is very, I don't know how involved, if at all, he was in January 6th, but this is far more convoluted than it should be. Rancor of the far right, burden, heavy burden, an end to the insurrection, an end to the way things were. Right in the center, I've got Democrats. Women are going to be voting in huge numbers. See, now this is saying the opposite. This is saying he's going to lose. Rand Paul's going to lose, but then he's going to challenge it. It's going to be a mess. That's what I'm getting. It's this, no, it's that. No, it's this, no, it's that. It doesn't even necessarily feel like too close to call. It's just this, that. Definitely this, definitely that. Who wins? This person wins. No, this person wins. No, this person won. No, this person won. That's a mess. So, Geek Hillbilly saying if you, missed it. It's going to be close either way. there we go. Geek Hillbilly saying if you like him in a press conference, you ought to meet him in person. He's the real deal. Well, that's good to hear. I mean, that would be amazing. Because let me tell you, right now, this potted plant over here would be an excellent replacement for Rand Paul. There would be a massive move upwards. Very much for the Green New Deal. Very environmentalist focused, my giant potted plant. But to have someone who is actually good, actually cares about people, wow. Kentucky would hardly know what to do with itself. So yeah, it's there's weirdness. That's what I'm getting. Linda Sue says maybe Rand's election issues fall in the basket with all the other cheating investigations around election results. Yeah. Renya, yes, a rock would be a better replacement for Rand Paul. Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, 41. Deborah Murphy's question at 41:15. Now, we've been talking, for anyone who hasn't been hanging out with the news, we've been talking for a couple of days that there was a bill to help military veterans, especially those who were suffering from being too close to burn pits and all the damage it is done to their health. Bless. Should give them a hug. But anyway, Republicans voted the bill down, even though they had been for it like back in June. Excuse me. Republicans voted the military bill down. Are they going to be able to get it back in a vote before election time? Because they're saying, oh, no, we're only voting against it now and giving each other fist bumps and slapping each other on the back in congratulations for blocking the bill. Yeah, way to stick it to the Dems. They said it's just this one part. So it's like, all right, what if we took that part out? Well, let's see. Will they actually vote for it if whatever they're complaining about is taken out? They're lying. Surprise. Far right, stick it to the Dems. This is politics as sports. We're in the red team and we scored against the other side. It's like, I'm sorry, those are veterans you're hurting. This isn't politics. Politics isn't sports. It really isn't. And in sports, you don't have whether veterans are going to live or die. But that's how they see it. America is very much watching. The group of them banding together. So Wheel of Fortune, meaning it'll come back around again. And Democrats may be willing to change some language or some small things, but the Republicans have come up with some other excuse. Insert gif of Sebastian Stan shrugging. Yeah. See if I can get anything else. The bill that will help the veterans. No, they're jerks. People are upset, howling at the moon. The veterans in the center, that's sickness. It's a card of sickness. And in the end, the vote, theft. For verily, the men in that photo, fist bumping, backs slapping, for verily, they are the bags of scum. And they should be ashamed of themselves. All right, 45. Eileen had a question about somebody I'd never heard of. So I went and I looked. Joshua Findlay, who is now the RNC's National Director of Election Integrity. Kind of an oxymoron, isn't it? The Republican National Director for Election Integrity. Please. Has received a subpoena from the DOJ. How will that end? All right, Joshua Findlay. Republican, I'm sorry, I just can't, my brain is just not computing that. Republican National Director for Election Integrity. So, does that mean you don't have anyone working for you so they can actually go forward? Joshua Findlay. Oh, DOJ. We are going to see, America is going to see the things he was a part of to help Trump. Yep. His Wheel of Fortune's going to turn. There was an attempt to overthrow the government. Trump's base of power, he's one of those. And in the end, he's going to, he won't incriminate him. He may I think he may be pleading the fifth a lot. But the Wheel of Fortune is changing on the people involved with that, where things have been quiet and it's been years now. Yeah. Harold McGuire's asking, the military usually votes red. Will that change now? Good question. Hang on a second. And thank you guys for being here today. I really, really appreciate it. More than you know. Where was it? Sorry, I saw that question, but now I'm not seeing it over here. Carmela's asking, what does, foreverly. It's for verily. It is verily, it's based on the Latin word veritas, which is truth. So it's an old, it's a much older English, much older word used in much older English. It's like Shakespeare would say, for verily, for in truth, such and such and such. So I can't find that question, but I've got Elector Storms talking about the topic, so I might have to just throw that in here because I would like to read on it. Okay, sorry, a second here. Oh, Geek Hillbilly, right in the middle of the flood-ravaged area. Oh, I'm so sorry. Carmelis is nice. I like learning new words. Oh, good. Good. Yes, Polly Wanda, the fist bumping was poor judgment. Yeah. Yeah, okay, so I'm just going to read on this as is. Grandma Rose Homestead, in the Bible, verily, verily, I say unto you. So truthfully, truthfully, or in truth and truth. Yeah. A little bit smaller. Come over here. And at 49:45. 49:45. I'm so sorry. I can't find the question that was in there about the military. So I'm just going to go with this. Will the military Actually, it's kind of two questions. Will the military and will the vets, current military and former military, continue to vote heavily for Republicans? Let me see, what kind of spreads do I have here? Okay, I could try this one. They call it a new love spread, or comparing choices. No, let's compare choices. Yeah, we'll compare choices. That's what they're calling this spread. So top is current military, bottom level is former military. Will they continue to vote so heavily Republican? I know they're big groups, but well, former along the bottom, the former military, what's jumping out is older people who are thinking a lot more about what the legacy they're leaving, and the current military members at the top, they are more diverse and than you might think. There's certainly a lot more women in the military than there were, decades ago, several decades ago. And they're worried about whoever's going to give them the backing that they need to stay safe, so that they are ready. They're worried about. They're worried about, are their families going to be taken care of? Are they getting, what are they getting paid? I believe it was last night. I saw. I was lucky enough to watch a big part. I didn't see the whole thing, but a big part of the Sunday night reading between Jen Lynn and Lena Rodriguez and Becca from House of Lenormand. And Becca was saying that when she was in the Navy, she said the military loved the person who was in charge then, because there was this, they felt like they were being supported, and they would regularly get raises. Now they were tiny raises, but it was just this ongoing feeling of appreciation, feeling appreciated. Carrie World Traveler says most veterans vote Democrat. Really? Well, that would make sense to me, because this feels like somebody who used to always think of themselves as a Republican, but there's just been too much bad going on. Judgment and the devil. This feels like, what kind of world am I leaving my grandkids to? What is the future of our country? And we need to get rid of the corruption. We need to not allow insurrections to happen. We need... Linda Sue said Becca called him Little Bush. Oh, that's right. Yes. Little Bush. Carrie World Traveler said Democrats support veterans, not Republicans. Isn't that the truth? So, the current military, they're still... I think what this is saying is they're very much focused on the here and the now. Whereas people who've left the military are more concerned with the bigger picture, because they're older, obviously. So that's what I'm getting there. I don't know that it's huge changes, but Trillium Tarot, Kapla, indeed. Klingons? Klingons on the starboard bow, starboard bow, starboard bow. 5430. Eileen had a question. 5430. All right. Amendment 14, Section 2. If a state will not let male vote freely, the number of representatives for that state will be reduced and lose that number of the Electoral College. Will it work? So what this is talking about is this idea some bright spark had, which was, if Republicans keep trying to make it harder and harder and harder to vote, And then what that would make their own people, make it harder for their own people to vote too. And the fewer people voting, then the number of representatives for the state will be reduced. And they'll lose that number of the electoral college. So are Republicans shooting themselves in the foot? Well, where they will lose representation, they will lose power in Washington, D.C. by all of this getting in the way of voting. Will it matter? Well, I've got judgment and strength at the end. And I've got two aces, including the Ace of Pentacles in the middle. All right, well, the card for the reading, the Republicans, they have their plan. They have their plan. Three of Wands. So what they're doing, yeah, that's it. We'll put this stuff out there and fewer Democrats will vote. It feels like the first card there, the Three of Wands, doing that stuff gets in the way of the Knight of Cups. He's trying to get in the way of the Knight of Cups. Whereas the Page of Pentacles, they're hoping few of their voters will be affected. But then I've got two aces, and they're both right-wing, Republican and far-right, facing judgment and the strength of women. I'm not getting that this will necessarily have a huge impact. I'm getting women voting is what's going to have a huge impact, and I mean huge, bigly impact. So, yeah, that's what I'm getting there. I don't know that that's going to help us much, but women voting will help us a lot. Carmela, exactly. The Republicans may have a plan, but they didn't count on women and the DOJ working for us. Yes. Fuck you, sir. Bigly. Yes. Okay. So we've got some international questions here. At 58 minutes in, Gretchen had a question here. I'll see if I get through as many of these as I can. 58. And thank you guys for your patience with my hand being kind of laid up over here. Okay, so 58, and let's just say 50 at 10. Zelensky. I haven't read on Zelensky in a while. Zelensky has ordered the evacuation of all civilians from the Donetsk region. Is this in preparation for NATO action in freeing Ukraine from Russia? So is NATO changing its tune? Is it going to get directly involved in the fighting? Is NATO going to get directly involved in the fighting? No. Nope. This is Putin and his ilk. When he wants his victory, he wants his $1 billion house. He has his base of power. The center, he's getting, ultimately, he's getting his rear end handed to him. Seriously. But with all of that, the Ukrainians are hanging on. They're getting they're getting help, and they're making sure the well stays full. And so Putin thinks he could just walk in there and go, nice country, I think I'll take it. But I've got the Judgment, I've got the Sun, and I've got a Page of Cups over here, which is Ukraine just still keeps on keeping on. So I don't have the Judgment, and Sun is not NATO coming in directly, but they're definitely helping Ukraine in general. A lot. Much to Putin's frustration. Well, Putin can go suck an egg. Yeah. All right, 1 hour 30 seconds. 1 hour 30 seconds. Iran has threatened to build nuclear warheads that will turn, quote, New York City into hellish ruins, unquote. Mm-hmm. Will the U.S. take this as a credible threat? What will happen? Hello, Patricia. What is it with these dictators? I'm going to make huge threats. Really? Because I got stuff to do. And that's your play? That's nuclear hellscape. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you wouldn't be wiped off the face of the earth yourself for doing anything like that. But Kika, oh snap, Autumn coming from a vegan. Saying Putin can go suck an egg. Dave saying he would suck an egg, but they only have potato. Sweet Sugar Jones is potato. Yeah. So Iran, really? Nuclear hellscape. Yeah. I'm not saying they're not scary. I'm just saying, really, this is your great. These people have no concept of energy. They really do. And I don't mean energy like nuclear energy or what. I mean energy like energetic, high vibration, low vibration. This isn't how you go into the future. Just going around threatening people and threatening the unthinkable, and for what? Anyway, on the left here, I've got strength, I've got partnership. The center, the magician, that's where we're on trying to stand up. Queen of Wands, 3 of Wands, King of Swords. Well, let me tell you, right here, these are not cards of New York becoming a nuclear escape of any kind. Heckish, hellish, you know. They're trying to get the sanctions lifted and what have you, but this isn't the way to do it. Putting out this kind of rhetoric doesn't help you, doesn't help anyone. There's nothing here. There's a lot of yeah, they're awful. And again, not to say, oh, they're not terrifying. They're not terrifying. These leaders are not scary and they'd never do anything so extreme. No, they do all kind of stuff that's extreme, but they also, at the end of the day, they know unprovoked nuclear attacking with nuclear weapons unprovoked the entire world would come together to just wipe their country off the map. Is that do I have this correct? If you're that unbalanced and you've got enough of your government where nobody's stepping in to say no, that you're just going to send your big old weapons over there, yeah, you're going to suffer. They're going to suffer, but you're going to suffer too. And I don't know that Iran has the nuclear capabilities. It really doesn't feel like it. So I wouldn't lose sleep over it. Sugar Sweet Gentle. What is the Queen of Cups there? This thing allows me to look. the Queen of Cups, the far right, to me, the wands are the far right, wherever they are in the world, and queens are usually a group, so it's like the whole, everybody in government would have to. It isn't like like Trump says, we're using the nuclear codes, and there's nobody along between him and pushing the button who says slow your roll. But if nobody was willing to say slow your roll, and we launched nuclear weapons, that would be the Queen of Wands. That would be this far right extremism with everyone working together. Why does the Queen come up with, for me, as a group? I have no idea. No idea. Oh, I'm sorry. Am I talking about the wrong one? Queen of Cups. Oh, geez. I'm so sorry. Queen of Cups. Where was the... I don't know where the Queen of Cups is. Sorry. I missed it. Hi. Why don't you just rest? You're okay. Just relax. Just relax, good boy. Okay. You can bathe, of course, but you're okay. No stress. All right. Good. 106.30. All right, Russia. 106.30. 6:45. Russia is claiming that the US and NATO are the biggest threats to its national security. Are they planning on acting on that? So is Russia planning on acting against the US and NATO? Something new, something big, something not in the plans. All right, Russia. I don't know that Putin has the capability to do much right now. He insulated his country as best he could against sanctions, which he felt were somewhat inevitable, but it's still hurting. It's hurting Russians. It's hurting the economy. I don't know if this is true, but I heard that something like 85% of Russian troops are now fighting in Ukraine, and they still haven't won. Actually, I don't think they ever will. Oh, Ken Brownfield, I won't be here tomorrow. I have to take my cat to the dentist. Oh, bless. I hope the little mite's okay. Russia, there's judgment, there's justice. These are, this is after losing the war. This is international war crimes. This is people being held accountable for war crimes. Putin doesn't have the kind of money he would need to go up against all of the US and NATO military. You really want to poke that bear? But the West is definitely raining on his little parade in Ukraine. So will he act on it? I don't know that he really can. That's all. That's what I'm getting. Oh, B. Smith lurking, figuring out a blackcurrant cordial recipe. Wish I could send some. Ooh, yum. Teresa Ford, does Putin actually think we believe what he says? Oh, there you go. Did you see the picture of the kitty at the top? That's when he was outside rolling in the dirt a few years ago. So, Anne Menzies saying another oligarch just died. He had resigned and was opposed to the war. Oopsie. I mean, I guess he had a little, he went on a little trip like I did, only his was maybe out a window. Does Putin actually think we believe what he says? Let's see. Well, let's ask. All right, and we are at 110 in a bit. One 10:30. Does Putin actually think we believe what he says? Does Putin think? Not really. But he still finds he can manipulate people. He takes advantage of people's good natures. He feels like people can be separated from their money quite easily. The faithful, the super faithful will believe him, but he causes it's more he wants to be feared as much as he's loved. Your choice. He wants the money as long as he's the center of power. It gets him in trouble sometimes. Makes things, but he kind of likes everything staying unsteady and him feeling like people can't tell exactly what he's going to do. And Kelly says, I don't think he gives one fig about us. He does that. He knows he has to manipulate others. So, yeah. Okay. At 112. Oh, the 12th question at 112. It's actually more than the 12th question, but sure. Originally, it was a 12. Fred of Hope is asking, will China's banks fail? There's a huge mortgage strike going on. Banks are freezing payments, and the government has met protesters with military force. Surprise! Could this be a turning point in China's history? And what would this mean for the world's economy? So will China, there's a huge mortgage strike going on. Will China's banks fall? And I'm trying to get the energy. Will China's banks fall? Well, that's what we're worried about. But the center of the reading is temperance. They manipulate everything. That's what I'm getting here. People are working. They put their they what money they have they put in the bank. Hermit and suspension for hermit and hanged man, but I've got temperance in the middle. Hierophant's government. Nine of Cups is the merchant, but it's also the stuff people have. King of Swords, the end is regulation. So there will be some banks that won't go well, but overall, no, I think the manipulation, I think the banks in China are manipulated out the wazoo. I think the situation will be manipulated out the wazoo. Oh, and I'm not rejoicing at the idea of China's banks failing. No. That would hurt so many people. That would hurt so many kids and people who have so little. No, that would be awful. Kika says banks lied to their customers. I wouldn't. It doesn't feel like there's anything. It's like, well, yeah. So, how will it affect the rest of the world? We know about the corruption over there. We know about the manipulation. And communicating. they're probably lying about the state of things. I'd say they're definitely lying about the state of things. This is a lot of propaganda. And look how much money we have. They are a drag on the world system, but I'm not getting anything really out of the blue shocking. Yeah. Okay. Let me see if I got any energy left. Yeah, I don't actually. So I'm going to move these two questions. I'm going to move these two questions to tomorrow. These last two. I want to say I've got I answered about 15 questions today, but I'm losing my energy, I'm afraid. So that's going to do it for me for today. But thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. It's huge, 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 huge. Thank you. And I want to make sure every day I'm on for at least an hour, and trying to make you laugh, trying to make you realize you're not alone. And hopefully I was able to do that. All right, so that's going to do it for me for today. It's 1:21 p.m. here in Chicago. At 4 o'clock, I'll be over on the Book Art Media channel to do 4 creative sprints. You're always welcome. And other than that, I will be right back here tomorrow. All right, so take care. Have a wonderful rest of your day. You're not alone. We're in this together. There are good days ahead. See you tomorrow.